What are we doing? Is it the goal in the WNBA not to draw ratings on television? I know this league has struggled for 3 decades. I know they have been given less than desirable time slots, but is the primary goal in the dump not to draw an audience? Every October, there is one thing that is guaranteed. Uncle Casey is going to be confused. It is no secret that Major League Baseball struggles for relevance. Baseball struggles to capture the attention of the mainstream on a national level. Opening day in April, ignored. All-Star Game, who cares? Even something like the Home Run Derby, which used to be exciting, the Home Run Derby today has largely been forgotten. Hell, there are more people tuning into the wiener eating competition on ESPN than watching your average regular season game in Major League Baseball. Just think about that for a second. More people are interested in watching grown men consume an abundance of wiener. Those people outnumber the people who are interested in watching a game between the Pirates and the ratings Dodgers in Major League Baseball. Every year, there is 1 month where Major League Baseball almost gets noticed nationally, the month of October. Now, you would think baseball would take advantage of this opportunity and schedule their playoff games when people can actually watch them. It never fails. Every single October, there will be games in the early rounds of the playoffs that start at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. They schedule the biggest games of their season when no one is home to watch them. That makes sense, right? Well, it must make sense to the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, because today, the Queen Diva, she scheduled a full slate of exciting trashketball in the middle of a Wednesday afternoon. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Headline at Athlon Sports. WNBA facing intense backlash over decision on Caitlin Clark Indiana Felines game. Now, notice the wording they used in this headline. The article, it's talking about the backlash the WNBA received today on social media for scheduling Caitlin Clark to tip off at noon. Now, if you read the article, you would think that the WNBA singled out Caitlin Clark and purposefully put her in a time slot that's guaranteed not to draw ratings. But that's not the case. There were 5 games scheduled today in the WNBA. 5 exciting matchups featuring 10 of the premier dumps. But for some reason, people on social media and people in the mainstream media, they were only outraged about 1. I wonder why. Listen to this exciting action offered by the WNBA today. The New York Liberals against the Female Suns from Connecticut. Ooh, enticing. The Atlanta Dreamers against the Chicago Bravado. Ooh, appealing. The Las Vegas Anonymous Faces against the Seattle Beards. Ooh, exhilarating. The Dallas Wankers against the Phoenix Masculines. Ooh, the game provided just for men. Last but certainly not least, Caitlin Clark versus the Washington Mysticals. 4 of these 5 games, I completely understand why the WNBA, along with the television networks, would broadcast them in the middle of the day on a Wednesday afternoon. Doesn't matter if you broadcast them at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon or prime time on a Saturday night. They are going to draw the same sized audience. Nothing. If they're lucky, maybe they will move up a level and reach almost nothing. But why would you schedule Caitlin Clark, the only star in your league, to start a game at noon on a Wednesday? Well, KC, Team USA is playing a scrimmage game against Canada tonight. It's on in prime time on NBA TV. Maybe the WNBA didn't want to compete, or maybe the networks chose to show NBA players over pretend basketball players. I mean, maybe that had something to do with it. It wouldn't be the first time that the WNBA was bumped off of television so networks could show something else, or like it is in most cases, anything else. In past years, I would buy that excuse, but not this year. Caitlin Clark has proven to be box office. No one gives a shit about a meaningless pre-Olympic scrimmage for Team USA. Have you seen the roster for Team USA this year? Reading through the roster, it looks like I'm reading through the injured reserve list. Kawhi Leonard, he just pulled out of the Olympics. Shocker. If there is one thing we have learned about Kawhi Leonard in the last 9 or 10 years, the dude just doesn't like to play basketball. He likes to be paid to play basketball. He just doesn't like the part where he actually has to play. Tony Davis is on the roster for Team USA. I'm sure it won't be long before you're seeing the headline, Anthony Davis to miss the Olympics due to a vicious sinus infection. You mean to tell me that's the reason the WNBA scheduled Caitlin Clark during the middle of the day? According to multiple reports, the WNBA, they do this same thing every year. Apparently, today is the WNBA's annual camp day. Well, Casey, what the hell is camp day? They're in the middle of the regular season. Where are they holding training camp? No, camp day is where the WNBA schedules games in the middle of the day, so children attending summer camp in major cities, they can take field trips to their local dump and watch their favorite trash collectors in action. Oh, it's the children. It's all about the children. All kidding aside, this is a good thing that the WNBA does for local communities, but why would you schedule your only television draw to participate in this event? For starters, you can't get adults to watch this league. You really think children are watching? Not to mention the fact that due to the long history in the WNBA of players doing things that most parents wouldn't want their children to see, I would imagine that some parents don't want their children watching the WNBA. You know, it's weird. It's been incredibly difficult lately to find television ratings, mainly ratings for sports. For some reason, Sports Media Watch, they suddenly stopped releasing their weekly and daily ratings reports. That doesn't mean they have stopped sharing WNBA ratings, but it seems like they're only sharing ratings when they're positive. I wonder why. It is no secret that Caitlin Clark is the only draw in this league. You know it, I know it, and more importantly, advertisers know it. Through the first 2 months of the season, the WNBA, they have generated just over $12 million in advertising revenue. 53 nationally televised games, just over $12 million. Meaning the networks, they are generating around $233,000 every time they broadcast the WNBA. Are you starting to understand why the networks are hesitant to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for the rights to carry this league? They're not making any money. But anyway, guess who's responsible for generating a third of that revenue? Just take a wild guess. Well, KC, it's got to be Angel Reese. Angel Reese is a huge star. That's what the media and the WNBA want you to believe, but Angel Reese, she can't get on national television. 1/3 of the WNBA's advertising revenue on TV, it was generated, unsurprisingly, by Caitlin Clark. Even though she's only played in 9% of the nationally televised games this season, Caitlin Clark is responsible for 50% of the advertising impressions. Yet for some reason, the WNBA continues to push Angel Reese. Earlier today, the Chicago Bravado, they were playing the Atlanta Dreamers. With seconds left to go in the game, Angel Reese, she was 1 or 2 points away from another double-double. The game was over at this point. The Bravado, they were up by 7 or 8 points with seconds left to go. Chen Carter, one of Angel Reese's teammates, she intentionally fouls one of the anonymous Dreamers. After the airballed free throws, the Bravado inbound the ball. 100% of real basketball teams in this situation, they dribble the final seconds off the clock and they win the game. Not the Chicago Bravado. No! They pass the ball up the court to Angel Reese, who miraculously gets fouled by one of the anonymous Dreamers. She goes to the free throw line, hits both free throws to keep her double-double streak alive. Now, to celebrate this moment, the WNBA Twitter account sent out a tweet that said, Angel Reese ices the game at the free throw line. ices a game that was already decided? They are desperate to get Angel Reese over with the national audience. Media constantly promotes Angel Reese. WNBA constantly promotes Angel Reese. But when you look at their actions, it's clear that the WNBA knows where their scraps of bread are buttered. Guess who was on national television today? Wasn't Angel Reese, it was Caitlin Clark. We have seen this before where leagues or companies, they try to forcefully build stars inorganically, and it always seems to backfire. When LeBron James came into the NBA, the league pushed him relentlessly. At the same time, Dwight Howard, he was down in Orlando becoming a superstar organically. Go look at ratings for the 2007 NBA Finals and compare them to the 2009 Finals. Ratings in 07, record lows. 10 years ago, the WWE, they were forcing Roman Reigns on their audience. What happened? The audience rejected him. Ratings were in the pooper, fans were constantly complaining. Eventually, though, Roman Reigns, he was allowed to build organically, and he became one of the biggest draws in the history of the company. Force building stars never works. Yet for some reason, that is exactly what the WNBA keeps doing with Angel Reese. Anytime you hear the media talking about Angel Reese, it's about her streak of double-doubles. When the media talks about Caitlin Clark, it's about her leading the league in turnovers. They conveniently fail to mention that she also leads the league in television ratings, attendance. They fail to mention that she leads the league in advertising revenue, or all revenue for that matter. When the media talks about Caitlin Clark, they highlight the one negative in her game. They also fail to mention that many of these turnovers, they are caused by her teammates' inability to catch wide open passes. None of it makes any sense to me. You have a once-in-a-lifetime superstar in a league that has been begging for mainstream attention for decades, and you want to focus on Angel Reese, who can't even sell out games at home? Give me your thoughts on this. It's the annual camp day in the WNBA where all games are played in the middle of the afternoon. Fans on social media were outraged because Caitlin Clark tipped off at noon today. They didn't care about any of the other games. They only cared about Caitlin Clark. Is the WNBA making a mistake by forcing Angel Reese onto the audience? Also, why has it been so hard to find WNBA ratings? I can find ratings for cable news, late night television, found ratings this morning for The View. But when it comes to the WNBA, their ratings are getting harder and harder to find, unless they're positive. Why? I really don't know. I'm hoping you can tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.